Psalm 132:10, For the sake of David your servant, do not turn away the face of your anointed. As we study the remainder of this psalm, we see that the songwriter recalls two of the prophecies found in the remaining passages that support his privilege for prayer. The first, of course, is the messianic promise, which is confirmed in an oath given to David. We read about this in 2 Samuel 7:8-13 earlier. Now this is what you are to say to my servant David, this is what the Lord of hosts says, I took you from the pasture and from following the sheep to be ruler over my people Israel. 9 I have been with you wherever you have gone, and I have destroyed all your enemies before you. I will make a name for you like that of the greatest in the land. 10 I will establish a place for my people Israel and plant them, so that they may live there and not be disturbed again. Evildoers will not afflict them as they have done. 11 Ever since the day I ordered judges to be over my people Israel, I will give you rest from all your enemies. The Lord declares to you, the Lord himself will make a house for you. 12 When your time comes and you rest with your fathers, I will raise up after you your descendant, who will come from your body, and I will establish his kingdom. 13 He will build a house for my name, and I will establish the throne of his kingdom forever. HCSB. From the fruit of David's body, God would give David's progeny the throne, thus supporting the designated son of David in the future. National undertakings. These kings will be the conservators of the temple. Solomon restates the enthusiasm of his father's zeal to bring honor to God by securing a place for the ark, and as the anointed son. This prayer psalm is more of a pledge as he honors David's promises to God, and that God would not allow him to fail. For the sake of your promise to David, do not turn away from your promise of the Anointed One as if you were displeased or forgetful. Since the word anointed refers to the one who is set apart as either a priest, a prophet, or a king. We can read about God's fulfillment of Christ's succession in the line of David in the genealogy found in Matthew 1:1, the book of the genealogy of Jesus Christ, the son of David, the son of Abraham. Had God failed to carry out his promises concerning the sanctuary or the lineage of David, it would have been a mark of divine displeasure. Therefore, this prayer psalm is that God would continue carrying out his promised purpose as a show of his favor toward King David. The Israelites have over time learned the dreadful lesson of turning their face away from God or for God turning his face away from them, and scattered as they are, they look forward to a day of restitution. Isaiah 60:9 Yes, the islands will wait for me with the ships of Tarshish in the lead, to bring your children from far away, their silver and gold with them, for the honor of the Lord your God, the Holy One of Israel, who has glorified you. HCSB. God has blessed Solomon and the succeeding kings not only for the sake of David, but for the sake of his own reputation, and thus it is Solomon's plea in keeping with the word of God, for God's divine blessing to rest on him as king. On this side of the cross, by the way, we live our lives and hold tenaciously to the reputation of God and of our fellow Christians, so that we do not tarnish his name. The Word of God issues great caution for us to not turn away from or turn others away from the love of our Creator. What should not be extrapolated from this teaching is that there is saving grace for any person based on an inheritance from their godly parents. We often hear it misquoted by someone who is asked if they are a Christian, stating, "Well, my parents were Christians," as if that had some carryover to them. God's promise of progressive carryover blessings was limited to Father Abraham and the lineage of King David, which leaves us all as orphans seeking our own adoption by the Father. Having said that, we do owe the Jews plenty of thanks. Let me add this passage from Romans 11:25-33 in the readability from the NLT translation. I want you to understand this mystery, dear brothers and sisters, so that you will not feel proud about yourselves. Some of the people of Israel have hard hearts, but this will last only until the full number of Gentiles comes to Christ. 26 And so all Israel will be saved. As the scriptures say, the one who rescues will come from Jerusalem, and he will turn Israel away from ungodliness. 27 And this is my covenant with them, that I will take away their sins. 28 Many of the people of Israel are now enemies of the good news, and this benefits you Gentiles. yet they are still the people he loves because he chose their ancestors Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. 29 For God's gifts and his call can never be withdrawn. 30 Once, you Gentiles were rebels against God, but when the people of Israel rebelled against him, God was merciful to you instead. 31 Now they are the rebels, and God's mercy has come to you so that they, too, will share in God's mercy. 32 For God has imprisoned everyone in disobedience so he could have mercy on everyone. 33 Oh, how great are God's riches and wisdom and knowledge! How impossible it is for us to understand his decisions and his ways.